What's up, everybody? Shane here. I'm going to be going through my PvP build. I think it's a pretty awesome build. This ship is not technically a DPS ship. It's more of a tactical player versus player ship. So, let's begin. Let's start off with traits. Space reputation. Advanced targeting systems. Gives you better critical severity. Precision gives you more hit chance. Enhanced armor penetration. This is an important one. Sensor targeting assault. Every 20 seconds, your critical hit will deactivate your enemy's weapons. That's a really good trait to have in PvP. You want a tactical advantage. That means increased damage resistance debuff on target as health decreases. That means as your opponent's health is getting lower and lower, their damage resistance goes lower and lower, which makes them die faster. Okay, Starship Traits. I use Weapon System Synergy, which is an awesome trait to have. Basically, your beam weapons, they stack after you're hitting the target with your beams. It stacks and it boosts your projectile weapon damage by 25% with 50% shield bleed through. It can be activated every 20 seconds. Overwhelming Force is another one to have in case you're using beam overload, or if you just have the mod on your weapons. Every beam overload that hits the target, you're going to have a small explosion. And it's going to improve all of these things. Now, Starship Flow Capacitors improve shield drain and energy drain. This is going to come in handy because if you use a Plasmonic Leech like I do, this is going to help out a lot. Now, normally I would have the load Viral Torpedo, which whenever you launch a torpedo, after the it goes on a cooldown, not every time you launch a torpedo, but basically you deactivate your enemy for 5 seconds with this Viral Torpedo. And you get this trait from the Bentham Assault Cruiser, which is a lockbox ship. Personal traits. Of course, stuff that boosts damage. You want to get Beam Barrage if you're using beams, like I do. Elusive gives you more defense. Give it your all. Dodge 20% of all incoming damage for 3 seconds after an engineering ability is used. Astrophysicist. Crippling Fire. Failsafe Scrambler is important for PvP because once your hull goes down to 20% hull, it's going to emit this, like, I don't know, EMP blast basically, which makes your screen all fuzzy, allowing you to get out of there. You know, the enemy, they won't be able to see you, they won't be able to target you. Comes in great handy in PvP. Specialization Spec everything to pilot and intelligence. You're going to want to get everything maxed out. Starship attack patterns, Starship weapons training, projectiles if you use torpedoes, energy weapons, Starship projectiles. Target. For PvP, you want targeting systems on the max. Your EPS, you want to have that on the max. Starship weapon performance, max. Flow capacitors, max. Why do you want flow capacitors? Because you're going to be using a Plasmonic Leech, which every shot takes away like 2.1 of their power settings and gives it to you. And You're going to want, for damage, Psychokinetic Converter. Now with the 3-piece Iconian set, you're going to have something really cool. Now if you're using anti-protons, you want to go with everything Iconian. Of course, get all the vulnerability locators so you get your critical chance. Actually, my critical chance is sitting at 25.8. I could get it up to like 27 if I put on another Romulan bridge officer from the embassy, but I wanted that slot for something else. So the 3-piece Iconian set is going to give you this. Advanced Radiant Hypercharge. Basically, when your enemy's hull goes to 50%, you're going to deal a lot of damage. Now, the lower their hull is, the more damage you do. I've seen this weapon do 250,000 damage. Actually, just yesterday, I blew up my friend. I did him for about 125,000 damage in one hit. Now, this has a cooldown of 2 minutes. And for some reason, it doesn't shoot all the time. So you have to kind of fly around, but it'll shoot eventually. Crystalline Energy Torpedoes. They're fast torpedoes, faster than the Neutronic. You get these from the Crystalline Catastrophe event. A lot of people thought this torpedo was garbage. I kept it. And I stupidly listened to everybody saying it was garbage, but it's not. Because this torpedo is buffed by your tactical vulnerability locators. Meaning this torpedo will do 30,000 damage. Especially when it crits. So if you want to go with, if you like beam overload, don't put beam overload on your ship. As far as a bridge officer ability is concerned, just put it on. Just make it. Just make the mods. You know, just get the over on the mods. Pretty much every time you do a beam fire at will, right after beam fire at will, these are gonna crit. They're gonna go off. Now the advanced radiant anti-proton beam also has an over mod on it. So, and if you don't know what to do with 2 torpedoes, just put one in the back and put it on auto fire, and it comes in handy. You're going to want to get these energy amplifiers. I put this universal bioneural gel because I like the 7% cooldown reduction on bridge officer abilities. It also helps with subsystems. It's kind of a Frankenstein ship. But yeah, now let's go to bridge officer abilities. This is just a universal slot. You can put in anything there, but for intelligence team, since this is an intel ship, I like to disappear, zoom in and out. You got Tactical Team 2, which is going to buff your damage. Torpedo Spread 3. Surgical Strikes 3. Chemosite Laced Weaponry is a pretty important one to have. Attack Pattern Delta. Emergency Power to Weapons 3. Auxiliary Power to Emergency Battery. Since you're in a tactical ship, like you're not going to want to use anything that has to do with this, so you're going to put that down. You're not going to be doing science abilities. So what's going to happen here is your auxiliary power is going to go way down, and see how everything just shot up. That's how you want it. You don't need any auxiliary. What you need is speed, defense, and weapons power. If you need to get out of there in a hurry, you get emergency power to engines. Now this is a pretty important part of PvP, is the electromagnetic pulse probe. This, if you're inside of the sphere of the probe, you can't do anything. And if the actual probe itself hits you and explodes, it's going to do damage, 1. 2, it's going to knock everything offline for an additional 3 seconds. Evade target lock. User cannot be targeted by mines or torpedoes for 12 seconds. Minus 40% accuracy to the foe for 12 seconds. And to self, you're untargetable for 1 second. So if you're in a PvP and your friend is in a carrier or something and he's got pets flying everywhere, you hit that, and unless you've got it deactivated where you target pets automatically, they're going to go after the pets. Now, this ship is not indestructible. It can be destroyed, and it is. I've noticed that most of the time I lose battles against people with feedback pulse, and I lose battles against pilot ships. Now let's see if anybody out there in the gaming world would like to PvP. And I can show you what this ship can really do. Well, if nobody ends up wanting a PvP, I'll probably just have to join an STF. Hey, we got one. Okay. So, we've got Scott Bailey, who's going to entertain us in a PvP. Now, as long as Mr. Scott Bailey's not in a pilot ship or have feedback pulse, I think we're going to give him a pretty good fight. Another cool thing I like about this ship is it has a cloaking ability. There's our target. Woo! 45,000 damage on that radiant anti-proton hypercharge. He said wasn't ready for that. Well, let's see if he's ready this time. Yeah, he's getting his pets out. Oh, he's gonna cloak. Okay, I'm gonna cloak too. Oh, he's at 1%. Okay, here comes the death blow. And he's down. Okay. And he popped off a fleet support. And he says, okay, nice ship, I'm out, bro. Okay. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good one.